Daredevil, the man without fear. Bullseye, a ruthless assassin deadly with any object. Kingpin, the gargantuan boss of the crime underworld. And Elektra, master of the martial arts. Nice boots, huh? Hi, I'm Jennifer Garner, and this world around me, the world of a Marvel comic, is a world of mythic heroes and villains, of action and romance. Join me and we'll go inside Daredevil, from the comic to the big screen. Come on. Careful, the ink's still wet. The Daredevil comic first appeared in 1964. It's the story of Matt Murdock, a lawyer by day and by night a masked vigilante who stalks the streets avenging justice. Although Daredevil is blind, his other four senses function with superhuman sharpness. In our movie, the story combines the best elements of the comics, introducing audiences to superheroes and villains with action, adventure, thrills, and romance.
I have to go.
I got work to do.
This story and this character is something I've been interested in since I was a kid.
It was just something that I've always remembered and always wanted to do, and I heard they were making a movie of it, and I was really excited by it.
It's a fantastic story. It's one of the most amazing sagas we have in the Marvel Universe.
Daredevil's about a lawyer who was blinded as a child, and in this accident that blinded him, his other senses developed in an extraordinary way, almost like a radar.
Matt Murdock grows up after his father's murder and becomes a vigilante. He's a lawyer by day, at the same time becomes a vigilante at night for when the courtroom fails.
He tries cases, during the day and fights crime at night.
What do you want? Justice.
Matt Murdock meets this amazing woman.
Matt Murdock.
Nice to meet you.
I didn't get your name.
I didn't give it.
It's the first time in his life he feels like that's it. He thinks he found someone.
I was so into doing this role, particularly because there's Superman, there's Batman, but there are so few women out there that are their equals, and Elektra is one of them.
Does every guy have to go through all this? Find out your name?
You should try asking for my number. Elektra is intrigued by Matt Murdock, just the fact that he's blind and he's hitting on her.
How am I gonna find you?
I'll find you.
They're soulmates. They found each other. Unfortunately, their alter egos hate each other. The woman who's in love with Matt Murdock also wants to kill Daredevil.
So on the one hand, they're lovers, and on the other hand, they're also adversaries, which made for an interesting dynamic, I think an unusual one.
I played Ben Urich, a New York Post reporter covering these vigilante crime cases.
Are you here to confirm that Daredevil was responsible for this, Detective?
There is no proof that Daredevil even exists.
Whenever you see me, it's something sinister going on. The character of the Kingpin, he is not afraid to take someone's life.
Kingpin just doesn't kill you. He kills your whole family.
Kingpin is an awesome villain because he's not only spectacular size and strength, but he's also brilliant. He's 10 times Donald Trump. But at the same time, he likes to go old school and strip down and fight.
Give me Bullseye.
The devil is mine.
He's an assassin. He's a master with his hands, and with utilizing pieces that he finds, whether it's a pen or a paper clip, he'll kill you from 40 yards by just throwing it your way. Hence, bullseye, 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 bullseye.
Is that really necessary?
Necessary? No. It was fun.
Time to give the devil his due.
How do you kill a man without fear?
By putting the fear in him.
Spider-Man, X-Men, and now Daredevil joins the list of Marvel superheroes making the leap from comic to film. Inspired by the genius of creators Stan Lee and Bill Everett, director Mark Steven Johnson faces the challenge of introducing audiences to complex characters with a detailed mythology. Oh, and another cool thing about the old Marvel comics, you can order those little sea monkeys from the back cover ad. I love those.
The reason that I like Daredevil more than any other Marvel comic character or any comic character is that he always seemed the most real to me. He was like a regular guy, you know? He lived in Hell's Kitchen, New York, and they even gave you his cross streets.
It was a comic book that I read when I was, 10, 11, 12 years old. That was like my favorite comic book, and I collected it, and I followed it, and then
I had written the foreword to a collection of the comic books.
As a child, I was drawn to the Daredevil comic books. It was different because the guy was blind and he grew up in like a ghetto, and I could relate to that. That's where I come from. The things that he went through every day, I could look out my window and go down the street and see the same exact thing. So I really wanted this role very badly.
it was just something that I've always remembered and always wanted to do, and I heard they were making a movie of it, and I was really excited by it.
It was, I believe, 1963. I was trying to think of something new, and it occurred to me, as far as I know, nobody had ever done a blind superhero. And I had read that very often when you don't have your eyesight anymore, your other senses take over to a greater degree. So I thought, well, what if they could take over to a much greater degree than would be normal? I said, I want to do a character called Daredevil, and I wrote the story. Bill Everett drew the character. He brought Daredevil to life, so to speak.
As a fan of the comic, I always pictured the characters of Daredevil to look exactly like they did in the comic book. I never had specific actors in mind for these roles. I couldn't help myself. I would always just think of Matt Murdock as the way he was drawn. And when it came time to cast it for the first time, I thought, wow, I'm going to have to find a way to translate these characters that I've gotten so used to.
The interesting thing about the evolution of superheroes is as the times grew more complicated, the heroes grew more complicated. And on one hand, to reflect our fantasies, and on the other hand, they reflect our realities. And Daredevil is a really good example of that combination of everyday difficulties and problems with super abilities.
I always liked the Kingpin because he ran everything. Plus, he was this big guy. He's a bald-headed guy. And he could fight really well for his size.
Michael Clarke Duncan. He had the presence and he had the size. He's even got the bald head and that great deep bass voice that I knew Kingpin had to have. What he didn't have was the right skin color. And at one point I finally said to myself, this is ridiculous. The best thing I can do for this character is be true to the spirit of the Kingpin.
The only problem with playing someone like Elektra is her story is epic. So it's hard because you want to do your research and read every comic book, which I did, but we're telling this section of it, and it's hard not to be informed by what happens to her 50 issues down the road.
He's totally human, although he is a super blind man. There are blind men out there that are just amazing. You wouldn't know that they are unless they tell you.
Watch your step.
Oh, thank you. I didn't even... Wait. How'd you do that? How'd you do the park?
I don't know. Growing up in the kitchen, blind kid, learn how to look out for yourself.
Even though he was blind, he could see sound waves as they pass over objects.
If you were to drop a pin, say, in this room, the vibration from the sound of the pen dropping would reverberate throughout the room, and it would cause sound waves over your body as it travels over, so that's how he sees.
So it's also his great advantage, his hearing, but it's also his Achilles heel.
Mark was so passionate and enthusiastic about the material, being faithful to the original material, and the vision he had for sort of bringing it to life, that it was inspiring.
When you get up in the pain of it all right, you're stumbling up, because your left shoulders, you just were holding on by it. Sound effect-wise, if you could just, like, just pop it back into place.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Just like... Yeah.
He wrote it, he's directing it. He's been a Daredevil fan since he was 8 years old. So he knows this world so much.
You realize you came back.
Okay.
I think it's that moment, you're right.
It's great to be around someone who has such passion.
And cut! Very nice. That's cool.
Mark Steven Johnson's really good about exploring something on the set that's real and that could be useful. So on the one hand, we have a script that he put a tremendous amount of work into, but he allows the actors playing the characters to play into their strengths.
I think what's messing you up is you're going, when you listen, what do you hear? It's like, well, use your eyes, what do you see? Why don't you just say, what do you hear? Or in my case, listen, what do you hear? You know what I mean?
Oh, let me try that.
The subtext, the question underneath is like, how is what you hear different from what I hear?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Let me try that.
Let's try that. I think that might be a little bit more elegant. One of my favorite shots in all the comics of Daredevil was actually a more recent run that Kevin Smith did with Joe Quesada. And it's a shot of Daredevil up on top of a crucifix above a church. I always thought that's the beginning of the movie. And so I began to write, very clearly leading my way up to this cathedral to discover him on top of this church cross. We worked with a blind consultant named Tom Sullivan, and he had a movie based on his life called If You Could See What I Hear. He showed Ben what the world of a blind man was really like, little tricks that blind people do to get through their day.
I'm Tom Sullivan, and I have the fun job of being a blind consultant. My job is to teach Ben to be the best blind person on Earth. I happen to obviously love Daredevil because when I was young, I had this image that I would someday be Daredevil. So this is as close as I get.
Sure you're blind?
Sure you don't want to tell me your name?
There's a system that many blind people use called facial vision. When you move through space, the air vibrates off the facial muscles. So I literally could move away from a punch. And that's been the fun part of this script, to look at things and say, okay, how close can we come to real possibilities and then have the joy of making Daredevil Daredevil.
The blind lawyer from Hell's Kitchen.
The stunts and action in Daredevil are intense and non-stop. We trained in martial arts, developed skills with weapons, and spent our days flying and fighting on wires. The best part, I get to fight Ben Affleck. He's in big trouble.
The style and the action that we filmed is very unique. Jeff Ramada, who is our fight choreographer, stunt coordinator for the rest of the movie, has designed a very physical movie.
I think they are trying to distinguish different people's fighting styles, you know what I mean? With my stuff being more tricky, being not so much close combat as just one to throw at you and put you down from far away. Jennifer and Ben's characters having much more similar fighting style than anyone else.
He has a sort of a smash mouth street fighting kind of combination of all this stuff. He's got a bunch of styles and he can sort of adapt.
He is totally a human being. When he jumps off a building, he's going to get hurt. When cars get by him, he's going to fall and get hurt. He's still blind.
Elektra is as brutal, but she has a little bit more finesse, a little bit more style.
Kingpin, he's faster than Daredevil. His speed, his agility, were all things that you would not see in a man my size. So when the Daredevil and Kingpin fight, Daredevil is kind of thrown off because Kingpin is just as quick as he is, plus he's stronger.
We hired Master Chen Yan, who comes from Hong Kong. He and his brother Wu Ping are guys who define Chinese wire team acrobatics as in The Matrix and Charlie's Angels.
All the martial arts work and wire work with Master Chen Yan and his team required 2 or 3 times as much work as any other movie.
Comes down, Ashley does the flip over, and it's going to carry through to
I knew that I wanted to train with whoever they would have training Ben for this movie, and in this case it was Master Chen Yan and his wire team from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Wearing the wire rig sort of feels like you'll never be able to have children. It holds you up. You're holding your whole body weight essentially by your sort of waist and between your legs and your inner thighs, and it cinches you in there, and you know, it cuts off circulation, and it's pretty unpleasant. But it's great because, you know, adoption is a route that I am okay with, you know, and I've thought about. So that's where this picture leaves me.
The wire rigs are not the most comfortable things in the world, no. But they're so fun. The ratio of discomfort to fun most of the time is in the favor of fun. We saw the fight on the playground as the scene that had to set up our relationship for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I could go like, I could do the block and go, you know what I mean?
It becomes this kind of playful teasing, examining one another's training and skills, testing one another out.
You're holding back.
Yes.
Don't.
Ben and I took that scene pretty seriously. We rehearsed it every day for 6 weeks, for 3 hours a day. And actually, we did every bit of it. The stunt doubles didn't step in, even for an insert. It's all us.
Master Chin Yen took a few sequences and focused on those. He maps out each specific shot, and he has a kind of unique role, almost like a guest director, where he comes in and really takes control of that aspect of the movie, and he did a great job.
What they do is they choreograph the fight scene and they shoot it in the gym, and then they take the tape and they show it to Mark and go, this is what we think the fight should be. So you get these guys in their tracksuit gear in the gym on wires, and they're doing all the stuff like the foot will come in and they're shooting themselves in the handy cam and be like,
Colin's a natural athlete. I told him if he wants to do stunts as a stunt guy, he's better than a lot of stunt guys right off the bat. He took lessons from a magician to learn sleight of hand and things like that, and we incorporated a lot of close-in fighting type style with him.
I have this big long coat that I wear that is kind of used as a weapon as well. And basically, Bullseye's tools of his trade are anything that's in the room at any given time.
I know what Ben's capable of doing, and he's been working out really hard to get his body in shape. He's been lifting weights, he's been taking these karate lessons.
Months of like working out and physical training, and then working with the stick and learning how to do tricks and with the billy club and doing that. I trained for a couple months boxing as well.
I took him straight to a kind of intermediate to an advanced level. For example, how do you make a guy who's 6'2" kick high above your head in 2 or 3 weeks? Stick fighting that's taken me years to develop and practice. And what really excites me is when he allows me to take him through the pain barriers. He screams and shouts, but he still gets down and does it again.
Sais are swords that are a big part of Elektra's mystique and Elektra's character, and I wanted to be as proficient with them as possible. I would give myself little drills to do in my backyard, and I would say, okay, 10 flips going forward, 10 flips going backwards, with the right hand, with the left hand, with both hands, with the right hand, and then figure eights, backwards, figure eights, backwards. And I would make myself do that every chance I had.
Jennifer was tough. You know, she wants to do the stunts, she can do it. She doesn't ever complain.
Ben and I were fighting with weapons when we were fighting on the rooftop. We bashed each other up a little bit. It was basically our hands that got it the worst, but it's all okay, there's still 10, and it was worth it. Costumes, production design, special effects, and props. Bringing a comic to life involves creating a look and style that meshes the inspiration of a graphic novel with everything cinematic, and it's not easy. For example, Ben Affleck had to learn to fight as if he couldn't see. Colin Farrell got a bullseye branded into his forehead. Michael Clarke Duncan gained 40 pounds to play Kingpin. And me, they gave me skin-tight leather and high heels. Let's see the guys try to fight in that stuff.
Well, Matt Murdock has got a very specific, very stylized look. I think Mark almost wanted it to look like kind of live-action anime, like Japanese animation. That's why the hair is sort of being spiky and red, and the scars and the eye burns and all that stuff.
I really decided on leather because leather protects your body. Unlike spandex, which is just for show, Daredevil had to have a real reason for wearing this costume. And as he gets bumped around or stabbed or shot at, he needed something to protect his body. And that's why we built it off of motorcycle clothes. That's what you would really wear to protect yourself. And that's how we came up with the leather bodysuit that he wears.
So all of this were the initial research for the red of Daredevil. Material, spandex, leather, net, all the different faux techniques we could do of the pleated leather, the textured leather, silk screen, hand painting, as well as just figuring out what Daredevil's red is. We went through every shade of red there was.
Cool color. I wouldn't know.
There was a lot of discussion over color, how red is red. We went through quite a series of ideas, sketch-wise first. Then we narrowed it down to a couple looks that we liked, and we did prototype costumes of it. There were different styles of helmet, of mask. Ultimately, everybody realized that the traditional look of Daredevil had to be maintained.
It's a living, you know what I mean? It's a good living. Paper today?
This is the Ben final sculpt that's done in plaster and then drilled out so that they can vacuum form, and you end up with something like that. And then this then is covered in leather.
At the moment, I'm doing the finishing touches to one of the helmets that Ben Affleck will be wearing as Daredevil.
The difference between this headdress and what the other superhero things we've done, this is very different. Just being more naturalistic, more like a piece of clothing, rather than an actual sculpted costume that's been painted up. They wanted it to look more real, look more like leather, and look like it had a hand on it that made it.
You know, the comic book bullseyes in a pair of blue tights, and thank God they knocked that one on the head. And then they were going to have a tattoo, and then Mark decided it'd be better for, you know, the idea of him just branding himself. John Jackson and Deborah, who were doing the makeup, you know, they made it and they put it on every day. And if I sweat, it starts to bubble, so they have to rip it off and put another one on. But it's great.
He's bigger than life. The Kingpin is 6'7", 400 pounds. Michael's most exciting thing is I told him he had to gain weight for the role.
If you look at the Kingpin, he's not a ripped-up bodybuilder type of guy, but he does have muscles. So I started powerlifting, which makes you get bulkier and stronger, but not ripped up like a bodybuilder. So that was kind of cool. So I got my little stomach on me like the Kingpin. I'm doing it only for the movie. Well, we're trying to create a dark atmosphere. I know when I fight the Daredevil, it's raining outside and the lightning is clashing and, you know, thunder is all over. So we want to create that type of gloomy atmosphere.
It's going to be visually very, very, very special. Mark Steven Johnson is a real visual style that is going to make this movie amazing in the midst of a great love story.
Mark really had a very clear sense of what he wanted to do, and a big part of that was telling the story visually.
I hope justice is found here before justice finds you.
For the character of Daredevil, the journey from comic book hero to the big screen is complete. But for audiences, the adventure is just beginning. I'm going in. I can't wait.